All right.
Are
Well,
we live?
Oh, our audio is live. For sure.
Hey,
The stream
We're
is
back!
going.
we are back.
It's only been like a
2021.
month.
Oh,
Well,
man.
not if you count our little holiday chat that we had.
I don't.
Oh, that was pretty fun though.
I thought that was amazing. Thank you to everyone who participated in the holiday chat.
It's agreed.
Namely, my sister, my brother-in-law,
Sammy.
Sammy,
Mhm.
Sammy, and the true MVP. Streaming on a Friday is different and new too. I thank everyone's patience for that. I was very, very, very busy with work earlier this week, but that is done, accomplished. I've caught up right to the minute. Every single package that could possibly have gone out went out, so I'm really happy about that. And it means that I've got a full weekend ahead, so focus all of my energy to this.
Nice.
Yep, Josh, that was officially strike one. So
Strike
don't let it happen 2 more times
Strike one for what?
for delaying our daily.
Oh, sure.
I
I'll
only allow that 3 times, and then I'm gonna have to kick you from the party.
Well, is it like holidays? Do I get 3 a year? Do they roll
no,
over?
I don't give holidays.
Okay.
Darn, tough crowd.
I'll keep that. Yeah, yikes. I'll have to let my boss know. Hey, sorry, Tuesdays are non-negotiable. Can't ever work a Tuesday evening. Sorry. So
Tuesdays
like a
from now
bet.
until like the next 3 years.
right, yeah. That would be rough. So I was talking to Justin earlier, and this is how I opened with him, and I think that it remains true. I am so happy to have the 5 of us back together. Is this not
Speaking
super
of
fun?
5 of us, y'all should have the stream in the background so that we can keep that like average viewer. Okay.
I do. I've got it.
I
I've got
you.
it going.
I got you, Andrew.
I'm just teasing anyway.
And then the number 2
I
is
like
as
that one so
excited
much.
I am to get together. I was thinking about Sarah's game and where we had gotten in Rise to the Rune Lords, and how excited I am for that next game, and how I'm like really excited to see where the story's going to go. I'm super happy playing the character that I am, and I think that we're hitting a good point in the story. And then I started thinking about Jason's campaign, and the one that we're about to do today,
Hey,
and how
welcome, P.
actually,
Robertinez.
in reality, I am terrified and sick to my stomach, and I'm so nervous that we're gonna have a character death and that it's gonna be tragic. What's about to happen?
You can only hope.
One can only hope.
I mean,
I
it
guess-
will be tragic, but it'll be a good tragic.
It'll be a good kind of
Maybe.
tragic, maybe. So
I just keep looking at this map, and it's scaring me so much.
I think we're still waiting on Justin, but without a recap, do we want to explain and catch up amongst ourselves where we're at and what we aim to accomplish?
Yeah, we should. Oh.
Sure.
Someone
Yeah,
else?
I'll go ahead, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch to my upstairs computer, so I'll be back in just like 2
Absolutely.
minutes. All right, bye.
Okay.
Sarah, why don't you explain it?
Explain what? Where we're at?
Yeah, in the story.
Oh, he made it go black.
Oh,
What a
Never
stinker.
mind, it's not.
it's back.
Oh, it's back. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember. We were in the caves.
Yep.
And a guy showed up and was like, "Hey, troglodytes, come join us." And we were like, "Hey, we killed them." And Ida just kind of rushed out and was like, "Now I'm gonna kill you." And
I
so
can
he almost died in the process, but he was the first one to attack, and we were able to defeat them. And we found a map on the dead guy we wouldn't have found if Aiden had just taken off. Just saying. Just saying.
But I could have tracked him probably in time before he got here. I'm just saying.
Unfortunately, no. I actually looked it up again, thinking about it more, and it's like there would be 0 chance of you catching up to him before he got to the place.
But
Because
it
the way
might
that it
have-
works is like you could track at double your speed, but
Right,
he's moving double his speed normally
right.
without having to roll a check.
But we
And
would have
so-
caught up and found it, maybe.
At best, you could maintain the distance you had.
Yeah,
Assuming he never slowed down, that is.
correct.
I
Never
was-
slowed down, never stopped.
I was so mad because I could have gotten him, but wolves have stupid trip.
Yeah.
And I knew before I tried it, I was like, this isn't going to work, but I won't know unless I try. So I tried, and what happened was what I thought was going to happen. But anyway, so we ended up coming to this to this camp, and Theros turned into an owl,
An
I think.
eagle, because owls are
Eagle?
illegal.
Oh, are they?
Well,
Yeah.
it's because he can't turn into a small creature yet. So.
They're
Or
outlawed.
a tiny
Oh.
creature. He can only turn into a small.
Owls are shot on sight in Nermathis.
No, they bring gifts.
Oh, that's true. That's more accurate. But he was not bringing
Uh-huh.
gifts. He was spying on this enemy camp, which we had found, and we were able to gather a sizable amount of intel about approximately how many people, how many hobgoblins there are, and
You
where
could
they
argue
are.
I brought you the gift of knowledge.
That's true. The gift of
That's
knowledge,
true.
Yeah. And unfortunately, despite that knowledge, I am not overly confident in any strategy to approach the camp, because we will die if we.
Well,
Get
no, we just need to go burn down this watchtower with a flaming sphere spell.
I don't
No,
think.
it's-
I think just because of his past experience, he won't let fire work.
No, I'll let fire work. It's just you can't engulf a structure in flame with that spell within 6 seconds or whatever it is.
I told you, it's made out of thatch. We've been over this. That's why it
Totally
works.
legal.
Totally legal.
We did.
Hi.
talk.
And soaked in gasoline.
Soaked in
Yeah.
gasoline. And everybody knows hobgoblins soak
Inexplicably.
all their structures in gasoline because they love the smell.
I can't blame
Um,
them. It's pretty good.
I do have something before we get started, guys, and I already told Jason and Josh about it that I want to show you guys real quick. It's just something fun in case somebody dies this time. Hopefully this doesn't jinx it. Okay. All right. 1 second.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
I'm waiting with average breath and one deep breath.
I'm waiting with halitosis. I'm kidding.
Well, that's gross.
I don't have halitosis.
I could do without.
1 second.
Oh,
Did you guys already recap?
yeah, we went over it pretty in brief detail. To be
I'm a
honest.
master at recapping.
Oh no, Sarah did great.
Hey, Troggies, come
Well,
join
let's
us.
just recap
We're not
recap
trolls.
where we stand. I don't know if I can see. It's probably too far back in the chat. Well, just going off of looks, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6 little goblins. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hobgoblins. Seemingly the normal kind that we fought. Who knows? Actually, they look more like the leaders that we fought, so that could be fun. And then there are 1, 2, 3 bugbears, and a wolf, and a cat thing, and a little weird goblin.
I think it's 2 wolves, and I also think that there are more people in this tent and potentially this tent that we have to worry
Oh,
about.
I mean, 100%. There's the boss. I'm sure is in this tent because
What about
that was the one that had
what
fog.
about
war
this
before.
tent? What about this one?
Oh,
What's that
No.
tent? That's a.
It's empty.
Yeah, nobody's there. They're sleeping.
that's just
What?
a blanket on the ground.
What's the difference between this tent and this tent over here?
Wildly different. This one, there's no one there. I can just. I have a
Everybody knows
feeling.
hobgoblins hate rectangles.
Yeah, and this.
Yeah.
besides,
Well, this tent
kinda
up here is a
tearing.
rectangle.
No, it's a
Nah,
square.
it's more of a square. And
Yeah.
there's furniture in it.
Is it all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares? Is
Y'all-
that how it goes?
Y'all forgot Gashma's head. Poor Gashma.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah. Gosh,
Maybe we could. Okay, all right. New plan. We are going to
Dress up as
steal
a
the
hobby.
head. Oh, I mean, we could. We're gonna steal the head, and then Theros is going to wild shape into Gashmaw, and like run away from the camp and lead them all away, and then we'll go take the stuff
Great
and
idea.
set stuff on fire.
Except I
and
already
then,
used my wild shape for the day.
oh no, we'll just rest tonight and do it tomorrow.
I'm not sure I'm confident in that plan.
It's a flawless plan. Flawless. Can't
I
possibly go
love being bait, literally.
wrong. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. Somebody had to do it, and you're the only one capable.
This is terrifying, Jace. I'm so nervous.
It's like I was made for this.
Justin, what's
Be
your
fine.
ETA, my friend?
I'm trying to figure out how do you put pictures in Discord?
You just add, and
Just
then
click
click
and
the
drag.
picture.
into
Click and drag.
you can just
That'll
click and
do it.
drag
File.
the image into
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Is this going into general?
Discord.
Yeah,
Like-
you're.
In
he
which
sent
channel?
it to audio.
No,
Oh, I
You
said
said
audio.
the-
Hang on. Sorry, hang on.
Ooh,
Go to
it's-
general. Go to general. Hang on.
General
on.
chat. see?
Spoilers.
Ooh.
There you go. Stream. So you
Ooh.
can see it.
Ooh.
There's Jason.
I like Niari's a lot.
That
Yeah.
axe is a heck of an axe.
Yeah, that's a great axe. Oh, so that's
No,
why
I
you
didn't-
asked how tall Nairi was?
Yep.
I,
So
Item
all those
storage?
I'm gonna print for you guys, and we're gonna paint them up so you guys all have
Oh my!
that's so
little figures of your
cool.
guys. So I've already got the files. I'm gonna reset the machine tonight and start printing. So hopefully I can paint this weekend for you guys. Jason, that's my rendition of you, bud, as our game master. With a giant D20 in your hand. That was my rendition, and your rule book on your hip. So, yep, and then Nyari there. Yep. and
Rulebook
then,
on is
my
hip.
little orange.
I love how she's one-handing that massive double
Right?
leg.
Yes.
I love it.
She's a beast.
Got my fist ready to punch somebody in the face.
Yep. So those
Uh,
are just quick picks that I was able to get from, I don't know, some program file I have installed that I've never seen before. So, but
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool.
It's fun.
That's great.
Thought we'd enjoy that. But if somebody dies, it's not my fault. It's Jason's fault.
Exactly. We all know who to blame when someone dies.
I thought about going more morbid with Jason's and putting like a scythe in his hand in one hand and a
Reaper.
D20 in the other, but I was like, no, because like he's not actively trying to kill us. So
Well, you
that's
could always
not
put the
fair.
scythe on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
Not actively killing you, but it's only one hand movement away.
But it's there if he needs it to come out.
Just
Yeah,
one
one-
nat 20 away.
Yeah, a single move action, and he's got it in his hands if he needs it.
Do you have a working
That
camera,
times 4
Justin?
critical.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I had to refresh it. It wasn't working on my end.
Oh, I was like,
Cool.
yeah, it's on.
Old
Oh,
Patrick
same for
was
me.
giving me the eye down.
Jeez,
Patrick
Justin.
was staring at me too. I was a little nervous.
All right.
Don't worry, Justin. I
Do
can
we
see
want
you.
to
Thank you.
do we want to start a session?
Absolutely.
I want
Yeah.
to start a session. Take it away, Chase.
Okay. So, as Sarah was saying in a little bit of detail before, you guys last time had encountered a hobgoblin astride a dire wolf outside of the caves. He seems to have come on some sort of peace negotiation with the troglodytes, but when you guys appeared, you attacked immediately, and he, of course, tried to defend himself. But ultimately, though he did fairly well and managed to, I believe he knocked Aiden out in like 2 rounds, he did die. So did his wolf, so did 2 of the 3 goblins that were with him. One of them did manage to get away. I think it was the next morning that you guys decided to set out and follow the tracks and the map that he had on him, which led you to this camp, Camp Red Jaw. And when you got close, Theros wild-shaped into an eagle to kind of scout the area out. And I just went ahead and revealed pretty much the entire map for you guys there. And you notice that there are a numerous number of goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears, and creatures in this camp, kind of moseying around and whatnot. I believe we're probably at around noon-ish when when we're starting up here, I think is probably the time that we're at. I can go through and describe this camp one more time since it has been a while. So, starting over to the eastern side here, this open area, you can see it is knee-high grass that covers this kind of gloomy clearing. To the west of that clearing is the earthen walls that rise up and form the steep-walled ravine. That they are about 10 feet. When you get so closer to the clearing, they're about 10 feet high. Further away, they get to a height of about 50 feet. You see a thick briars growing to the south of this area. They grow to about 8 or so feet high, and they are, as you have seen, they are very, very sharp, and traversing them without certain class features such as like woodland stride and whatnot would probably deal damage and be quite noisy. You also see a barricade of sharpened logs that has been erected to close off much of this ravine, and a single gate that hangs loosely on iron bars near the center area. And Gashmaw's head is about 10 feet to the north of that gate. You see throughout this knee-high grass field area, you see kind of faint trails through the grass that kind of form strange loops and nonsensical paths from one side towards the other. And then greasy campfire smoke kind of rises from within the camp beyond the palisade, filling the air with a hazy smog. The din from within is constant as hobgoblins shout at each other, wolves yip and howl, fire crackles, and troopers brawl. Then inside, officially, and inside the courtyard area, it's a wide open area that makes up the center of the camp. A large fire smolders in a shallow pit, and you can see the bodies of woodland creatures slowly roast on spits, filling the camp with a meaty aroma. Grease splashes and sizzles in the fire pits. In the center of the camp, a wooden pole rises 10 feet in the air. A red-streaked swath of fabric and a curved bit of bone, looks like a human or a hobgoblin. Oh goodness, hobgoblin. I was trying to say human, goblinoid, humanoid, and hobgoblin all in once.
Hoblins. I like hoblins though.
Yeah, you see
Sounds like a good,
potentially a
swear.
hoblin jawbone that is covered in dried blood hangs from this pole in the center of the camp. Moving south to the pen, where you see that wolf and whatnot, it's kind of next to it is like a sagging hut of patched canvas that kind of leans precariously near the edge of this crude fence, and there are wooden posts and ropes around this area, and the patch of bloody overturned earth within serves as presumably the animal pen. A stretched section of hide covers the far corner with furs and straw piled into a soft bed. Theros would have noticed as he was flying over that, curiously, the animal pen does not have a gate. It's just wide open, and they can enter and leave as they desire. And moving on, I'm going to skip the next one because you guys can't see inside that northern tent.
Darn.
But to the left of that tent is a wider area. It looks like this is the kind of like their lodgings. You can see 8 or so beds kind of set up in this other tented area, and it's just a simple canvas walled lean-to. It conceals a bunch of bedrolls and cast iron buckets. You can see that there's a couple people in there already who appear to be resting, probably just finished, or maybe an hour or two ago finished their shift of their watch, and so they're resting in that area. Skip part of the next one. You can still see the exterior of that second circular tent that is behind the briar patch in
superior
the center
tent,
of the camp.
clearly.
Yeah, that tent is the one where you see the skins of many humanoids
Oh,
with
never mind.
faces still twisted in agony that make up the wall of the gruesome domed tent.
Ugh. You
And,
actually got me to flinch there. Ew.
That's
and
nasty.
finally, outside of the ravine, there's the staircase that leads up to the watchtower, which appears to be just a simple wooden watchtower that rises above the ravine's far end, providing a perch for lookouts to scan the entire area. It's about 30 feet tall. You can see that the kind of like a rope ladder is curled up at the top, so it looks like there's no easy entrance to this watchtower between shifts, as it looks like they take the ladder and roll it up so nobody can really get in there when they are on duty. But that is the extent of what you see in this camp.
I got questions.
Okay.
Over here and down here, you see where that palisade goes? Is the wall 10 feet high there still? So
at
it's 10...
that point, it's probably 10, 15 feet, something like that, yeah?
Yeah, so it's 10, 15 feet all the way to the edge of what we can see as the map.
Yes, yeah, I would
So-
say 10 feet is the edge of the map, yes.
So there is a scalable, like, I mean, not high, 10 is not so bad, but in theory, there's a wall they have to scale to get up to this north side or this south side.
Yes, if they weren't just gonna, like, go up the ladder, or not the ladder, the stairs, or circle around, yes.
Right. Oh my gosh, I hate this.
Hey,
Okay.
no pressure.
Oh, I haven't done Aiden's voice in forever either, though, too. We should probably discuss what we want to do. We can jump in and out of character. I think the right thing to do, though, is play this slow and watch when patrols come and go. And if we see anyone leave towards the direction of Phaendar, maybe try to pick them off if they send like a messenger or something like that when they get far enough away from camp. The only danger is if we do that and a patrol doesn't come back when they're scheduled, they'll know something's awry.
So they'll
So
go to leave and they'll send another patrol to look after them. We kill that patrol and we just, rinse and repeat. Easy.
well,
Flawless.
if we were playing Assassin's Creed, I'd agree with you, but unfortunately, I do think that
Splendid.
the AI is going to respond more intelligently.
Well, one thing you may or may not take into consideration when planning is that technically one patrol has already failed to come back in full.
So time may be of the essence as well.
Depends. You don't know how they'll react to that, but one goblin did return and the rest did not.
Did Theros see the one goblin that fled from our earlier encounter?
Theros is probably pretty racist. All the goblins look the same to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he'd be able to pick out which goblin it was specifically.
Which one of you is Jerry? I saw you running away, Jerry.
Can't fool me.
So brainstorm it with me. What ideas have we come up with in the 3 weeks we haven't played?
So I thought of trying to take out the guard tower guys first. I mean, we're obviously not going to be able to do that sneakily very easily. I had one crazy thought, and that was like having one of us just like walk out into this clearing area and be like, oh, this isn't what I thought. And it's like, I'm just a traveler passing through. And they'll be like, oh, we're going to kill you. And then they would just chase us into the woods and then we'd get them. But
And lay
That was
ambush
kind of-
for the rest of the party.
And then we get them.
Get him. And we get him.
Um,
We get
so-
him dead.
I feel like that's a pretty good plan. But the other plan was to throw fire onto this bush
I
and
was thinking fire too.
like, oh, my original plan from last time was to have Theros fly over with the alchemist fire and just drop it like bombs.
Bombs? We're gonna bomb the hobgoblins?
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
air raid.
Except again,
Um,
I've already used my wild shape and I turned back into druid form, and I can't go back into bird shape again.
But I'm saying like tomorrow, if we were to just
Oh yeah, well, that's true.
wait.
A benefit of tomorrow too would be I could prepare silence,
We could
Oh.
prepare all of our
but
spells.
on the
Mhm.
on the guard tower there, so they
Only-
wouldn't hear what we're doing up there.
Only thing about silence that we'll have to keep track of is that it also prevents verbal components.
Right.
So for all the spellcasters, which is all of us, for your spells with verbal components, you couldn't use them in that sphere. But we would be silenced. My concern about the guard tower, and I would kind of want to, if I could, Jace, like maybe if we do decide to wait tonight, keep my eye and watch from a distance when they change patrols, because with the ladder going up and down, we don't have such a great chance against them ranged. I think I'm the only one really, with the ability to do that. I mean, Niari can too,
I
but
can
we're at a
throw rock.
disadvantage. Yeah, with them being so high above us. So I wonder if we could catch him on a transition.
The
I
other
worry
thing
about-
is, I think, Jason, this area is not fogged of war.
Oh, it's not.
Nope.
Oh.
It is
It
now.
is now.
It-
It wasn't.
Oh, I didn't see anything in it. But
It
I
was
just
just
dropped
one of these
something
guys.
in there. Can you
Yeah.
see the thing that I
So-
just dropped in there?
No.
Yeah, it was one of these guys.
No,
No,
it's not.
you can't see
It's
anything
not
in there.
fogged over from.
No, we can't
Well,
see
I mean,
anything.
I
Okay,
can
so
see
everything is on the
inside, but I
GM.
can't see
Everything's on this GM layer. Okay, that's fine. That's
Yep.
not a big deal.
Yeah,
It's not a
other
big
than the
deal.
actual map.
There are 2
I'll-
benches. Keep that intel handy.
I'll
fella.
refog it,
That's
but
a-
everything was on the GM layer, so it's not a big deal, really.
Okay,
Doesn't
yeah,
change
I
anything.
didn't see anything that
Um,
would tell us anything interesting.
Yeah, the other option is to try to bottleneck this area, but then I don't know if they can just like scoot around here or not. If that would slow them down enough.
They gotta have
Well,
archers down there
about
too.
Sure, but they're firing up, what, 50 feet? You said it was over here, Jace?
50 feet is that area, yeah.
Yeah, that's sizable. And here's the other thing, too. If we do wait a day, I can prepare Entangle. So, both of us would be able to throw Entangles on this side, and this is already difficult terrain down here, you said, Jace?
The Briars, I believe, yes.
So that would make it particularly difficult because they have to, at the minimum on this side of the map, scale with a climb check 10 feet up. Then they have to come from this side to come around, else they are bottlenecked here. So, assuming we attack from the left-hand side, the west-hand side.
Yeah.
What you said too, we don't.
What's the name of this camp for the journal? What's the name of this camp?
Camp
Red-
Red Jaw.
Red Jaw. Okay.
Red
Ratings.
John.
Red Jaw Camp.
Dun, dun. Journal updated. Camp Red Jaw discovered. Ah. This is so nerve-wracking. Red Jaw.
Oh
Alright.
goodness. I feel like we just honestly need to do something. I don't know if it's worth trying to wait out the rest of this day. It's just if we don't have anybody
it might
like,
be worth
watching.
waiting a day just to prepare spells that would be more strategically, tactically advantageous, because we didn't know what we were going to encounter up here.
Do we take?
Right.
Yeah, somebody's got to be watching.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do we take
Shifts,
turns watching the camp, shifts watching the camp
Mm-hmm.
I'd wager.
as
I
best we can? I mean,
I
really,
think-
all we can see is this. But
Right, but the watchtower is important to me, and I mean, Aiden would like to know when they change hands, patrols,
I mean, they could march out through here, and we'd have no idea, though. Like they'd
march
go
out
right
through where?
through the front gate, and we wouldn't know
Correct.
Yeah.
because we can't.
Do we
see
have
them.
any sense of scope about how far to the east this extends?
It looks like it goes probably. So it's 10 feet. The edges are 10 feet at that point, but they quickly slope down from 10 feet. But it looks like they still kind of go for maybe another 30 feet or so. But at that point, the edges are like, I don't know, 5 feet high. They're really not worth mentioning because you could climb those without even really making a check. But
let's just can I'm gonna use my token to just can I measure some of this map? Like, rough-
sure. I don't
roughly
think you need a
eyeball.
token to measure it.
Not to measure is the word, but just to kind of quickly let's
Aiden's rushing in.
I was gonna say a
back
tall,
here.
large-eared man appears in front of the camp with a very punchable face.
I want to see if we, throw entangles, we could cover pretty much that whole part if we unleash 2. So that would help too as well. Force the bottleneck the one way a little bit.
Turns out they have dispel magic.
Well, we're in a whole lot of other problems. So that's part of my strategy. And I think the right call is to wait a day, take turns watching the camp, trying to gather as much information as we can, and then plan a day of tactics with gathered a little bit more information.
Yeah, the only issue is just getting up there to watch the camp.
Mhm.
I'm not confident in my stealthing ability.
Yeah.
And I know a certain dwarf that probably agrees with me.
It's very true. I know a certain ranger who also agrees, actually. Mine is not particularly amazing. And unfortunately, the way stealth path in Pathfinder works is, reality might be different, but in this one, there's however many enemies you're up against, technically, they would all get a check, anyone that you would come close to, versus your single roll. The odds are pretty far stacked against you.
Modified by distance.
Right. But still,
just charging
if
in,
you guys, if you sneak by here though, Jace, your single roll is against 4 rolls.
Oh, going by
unless
there,
you-
yeah, you'd just be out in the open. Technically, you
Yeah.
can't make stealth checks like that.
Right. But how far are there trees like these more to the west? If we took a long loop round, could we come in from this side?
Yeah, I would say, I believe, now I have to get the measure tool out here real quick. Is this the measure tool? Yeah. What is that? 40. Yeah. So once you get to like 50 or so feet from the edge of the ravine, there's more trees again, because they've only cleared out like a radius of that much. So probably not too far, maybe like 5 or so feet out of like west of where the map ends, there'd be more trees, just like you see up north and south.
You could only see, we can only see so far in daylight though.
Speak
The
for
hobgoblin.
yourself.
Yeah. And what time of day is it now?
About noon,
Noon.
because you guys woke up in the morning, came over here, and then did a quick scout.
Maybe we go to that far west side on the edge of the trees, maintain a distance, and watch from there. Just for
My only fear is just I feel more comfortable with us being between them and the caves.
which is to the southeast from here, Jace.
Yes.
Just in case they do something funny, then we're not going to be able to catch up or heading them off.
You think they'll go to the caves before they go to Phaendar?
I mean, we don't care if they go to Phaendar. Phaendar's
Well,
gone.
Right, but they might tell the thousands and thousands of hobgoblins that they found us. You know what I mean? That's my fear.
Yeah, but still, if they're going to bring a whole army through the Fangwood, that's going to take them a long time. We'd have plenty of time to get people out of there.
If we notice soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, for all we
Right.
know, they could have already sent messengers to Phaendar, so...
Only problem, I agree with you, except that the southeast side does not appear to have a vantage point. So I don't think, is there anywhere from there that we can keep an eye on the camp without being seen?
The whole southern area is those thick briar patches. And I can read, so the briars to the south continue for 50 feet, count as difficult terrain. For small or larger creatures, every 5 foot of movement deals a certain amount of piercing damage and produces loud snaps and pops. Unless the character has woodland stride or something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Okay.
the whole southern area.
But if we were before that 50 feet, is there like trees and we can see over the bush? Or is the briar really thick and tall?
Briars are very thick.
And tall? That's the question.
I think they're 8 feet tall. I don't know where I read that, but I feel like I read that somewhere.
So we couldn't see over them. So we wouldn't have a vantage point. We could only wait for patrols to come through. This is a little pathway that extends for a while.
Not too much further than the where the map says. Let me look up. I have a bigger map in the book. So
And
yeah,
where-
so,
Theros
down, so the woods basically meet up with the briars right after where the map ends in that particular space.
Okay.
So it's not like a path. or
Theros
anything.
could traverse these briars.
I think both
Yes,
Aiden
yeah.
and I
But
both have
nobody
Woodland
else
Stride,
could.
don't we?
I can cast Woodland Stride or something like
Oh.
that. I don't have it. I get it
Woodland
later.
Stride ain't a spell.
I
No,
think
was
I
gonna
get
say, I
it.
don't think it's a spell.
I think it's a.
Oh, you don't
something
get it till 7th level.
Yeah, I get it at
I
some
am
point.
one with the briars.
I mean, that's fine too. I mean, where we are now in geography to this, Jace, is we were straight south.
Yeah, you guys are before the briar patch, probably.
And we had seen patrols come out to as far as we are now, even.
You had seen tracks out to like a couple miles or so of just them going around patrolling the area. You didn't see any patrols, but you saw tracks.
This wouldn't be a particularly safe place to camp either. How far does this ravine stretch to the east? Could we wait at the base of that somewhere? Like way down, like off the map to the east?
It goes for another 20, 30 feet before it hits the tree line again.
That would probably be oft traveled, but we could wait there on the southeast side of that tree line. We would probably be within paths of patrols, though, I suspect.
Yeah, you see that whole area has got a bunch of different paths that kind of wind around the area and loop and whatnot. So it looks like they do walk through that area.
Yeah,
Quite
as
a
long as
bit.
we're
To and
quiet
from the
and
camp.
Orin doesn't snore, we're fine.
Well, I was gonna say, well, if we
Kidding.
go a bit further back, maybe we can isolate
No
a
promises.
patrol. And nobody has like, you know, the ability to create a mirage or anything like that. To, like Sarah was saying earlier,
To pull up
section of
Ulrit, I think I have silent image, but nobody. He's not with us. He's not feeling up to it yet.
I was just thinking that Ulrit and Frampton would be really helpful in this situation.
Jason's
get
like, I
some
mean,
of
I
that
can go ahead and
rogue
kill
still.
them, says Jason.
I think the one thing I think that I don't know how to do this, but we have to assault from the west hand side. I don't think there's a victory condition where we assault from the east. So the only problem with that is that sends people, in theory, if we can't stop them, to the caves. But I think we have to remain optimistic that we can accomplish something. But we cannot win a full assault. Even if, let's say, we take these 4 out, dispatch them very quickly, and then set up a barricade here and are able to throw out our entangles, the amount of rounds that we're going to save as they get to us might not be enough to recover. Unless we dispatch these like immediately and start this fresh, then maybe. Because being able to shoot down from 50 feet down into here is also a sizable advantage for the archers.
Another thing to note, as he was flying over, he would have noticed that the people in the, make sure I'm on the right layer here. People in this area were resting, so they're asleep and unarmored. They do not rest in their armor.
So they have to don their armor, which takes
Yes.
a minute or so.
And the person up here looked like he was dozing off, not fully asleep, but kind of dozing off while the other guy looked around.
And we can't see in here from up on the ledge because it's like
No,
a
you
10
technically
like,
can't. Yeah, I showed it to him because I was kind of figuring he'd be like in the southern area and he'd be able to see into it a little bit.
What
Yeah.
if we had
Convenient.
like people, we rest split up? Somebody was resting, hiding in the bushes over here over the night, watching, or somebody could just rest over here during the night, while the rest of the team was over here, and then that would draw a diversion when we finally do decide to attack. If we take care of them up here, we could have somebody who's here like throw alchemist fire or something down into here while we cast entanglements to keep them from leaving this area. Just thoughts.
I think that the keys are going to be entanglements in this side. So that
I guess
whole
we wouldn't have to be
area.
up here to throw alchemist fire either. But
Burning the bridge is a possibility, but isolating them down there does not. It just makes a bigger thing this side. So if we can actually encourage them to run left, I think that's better, because they can only go one at a time up these stairs, which gives us a big advantage when they make it up to here finally, assuming that these guys are all dead and we can avoid as much as possible archery fire. We're firing back at them as the melee guys are coming up. That could prove beneficial.
what's to keep them from just
So,
trying to get
one-
out through the jungle? Sorry, go ahead.
They
No,
might in
you're
time, but it would be delayed a couple of rounds. Hopefully, that's the only thing you're saving, because they would still be able to move through at half speed, and then they would be able to come up here. And once they're out, they would just be double moves away from danger zone.
It would still
Which is why we gotta-
bottleneck them, true. Because they're not going to really come this way. They would have to come around.
No.
This way.
They'd have to go through the briars, and I don't think they'd be able to do that, so they'd have to come this way. So you would have them here and here, which would eventually be 2 fronts, but it would be a lot of a single front for a while. It would be great if we could get anyone up into the tower, but because of that, the way the bridge works, the rope ladder, it's not as easy.
And you would also know, having scouted out the area, that they all seem to be wearing like similar like leather-based armors. They're wielding a variety of morning stars, javelins, axes, and longbows. They have. It looks like everybody is kind of equipped to do both ranged and melee combat to some degree, and that's the general equipment that they all tend to have.
Silence is a big boon, though, because if we could take these guys out unnoticed, that would be amazing. I'm not sure we could accomplish that, but that would be really good. Because then we could consider how we want to approach a full assault, controlling the side of the map, maybe waiting for a patrol of 2 to change shifts, and then ambushing them, you know. I think Andrew might be on... Go ahead.
I was going to say, how big is your cone of silence?
It's only 20 foot.
Okay.
It's a radius.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
Can you
pretty
cast
strong.
that on an
will only-
object?
Yeah, I can cast it on an object. I mean, that's enough to cover all of the goblins that are currently around the tower.
Well, the
Mhm.
tower is 30 feet tall, so just keep that in mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd have
So
to-
we could
So
quiet
you-
them, but not the guys on the ground.
You just
You
gotta
could-
jump
yeah.
real high.
What would be the mechanical check if I wanted Aiden to stay up late into the night watching?
I mean, you
could
can
just
stay
be
up.
fatigued.
Would I be
One
up
thing.
fatigued in the morning? How many hours can you stay up before you have to start rolling checks?
I don't know if they have actual rules for that.
Well, if you're like me, you can make it to 10, sometimes 10:30,
If you're like
and
me,
then
you can make it 24 hours easily. Then it gets hard.
Oh,
I don't know why anyone would want to do
I
that.
can't do that,
That sounds
anymore.
Zero fun. I did that once and it destroyed me.
Justin's like, if you have children like me, you just learn to never sleep again.
Right.
But you're typically, on an average day, you're awake 16 hours. Most people are.
So this
So-
is apparently optional but raw. I just pasted that in the chat regarding sleep. It seems to be raw according to where I just found it.
While you're reading that, let me just go
Okay.
over some things that may be helpful in the haversack. Um,
Is there coffee?
couple things. Coffee, yeah. We have some scent cloaks, which will basically, a scent cloak is the collection of coarsely ground spices, seeds, and alchemical reagents that override your scent. So they make it more difficult for creatures with scent to detect and pinpoint your location. Essentially just increases the DC by +10 for 24 hours. So, I mean, we have 4 of those. It may not hurt just for all of us to use them, just in case they try to stick those wolves or anything after us if we're able to get away. We have a potion of Owl's Wisdom, which would help either Orin or, well, I guess it would help any of you 3 because you all cast with Wisdom. There's 2 steadfast gut stones, which you swallow, and if you are hit with precision damage, such as a critical hit or sneak attack, the damage instead goes to the gut stone, which has 10 hit points. So essentially, it could like absorb 10 HP of a critical.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's see. When a gut stone is damaged by melee weapon attack is a free action, its owner may sacrifice the stone to damage the attacker's weapon. Treat this as the bearer making a free sunder combat maneuver against the weapon, except that it does not provoke An attack of opportunity bypasses the weapon's hardness and does 1d4 points of damage. Interesting.
When I think
So there's 2
Gutstone,
of those,
I'd be
and it's.
curious. Go ahead, sorry.
What was that? You broke up a little bit.
Nothing, you're good.
Oh, okay. It's active for a week. So if you ate one now, it would be active for a week, protecting your vital organs until it is destroyed, basically. So that's something that we have 2 of. We have 2 smoke sticks. So if we needed to make a getaway, we can break one of those. Trying to see what else is here. Brooch of Shielding is only for magic missiles. That's not super important.
Hearst, we're playing first edition, and welcome to the stream.
Hey.
If it
We
helps,
have Dust of Appearance. So this powder appears to be very fine, a very light metallic dust. Oh, that's used against a invisible. It negates blur and displacement, and it works like fairy fire. So that's something that if anything were to go invisible, we have that we can throw. So I don't know. I think we'll want to buff as much as possible before this.
And debuff as
Pre-buffing
early as
will be
possible.
key.
I also, Theros is also carrying a Thunderstone, which might be useful to use against some of these sleeping, resting hobs and gobs over here if we're able to make that attempt at some point.
It would disorient them and they would get negative rolls on their initiative.
Yeah, deafen for 1 hour if they fail the DC.
You also have that stump remover explosive.
Oh yeah, put that on the staircase.
I would say, do we still have that?
I do still have
Yeah, but nobody knows how to use it. We gotta go get Jin.
Yeah, we don't know. Well, could we
it. Oh,
conceivably
I thought we
have
learned.
learned?
I thought we already learned how it worked.
I thought we learned how it worked too. Because we were gonna blow the bridge and then didn't have time.
Yeah.
It would have had a check involved with blowing the bridge, but you
Right.
know the basics. It's just you'd have to succeed on a check to get it to.
So
do
we
it
could
what you
try to
want.
blow that.
And if you
we-
fail the check by enough, maybe it goes off sooner than expected, or doesn't go off at all. You don't know.
Sooner
Oh,
than expected
jeez.
would be really bad. But if we
Theros
could,
just dies from the stump remover.
It's
Oh,
a TPK just because of this stump remover explosive.
if we could get
Half-elven
that,
suicide bomber.
if we could get that explosive to go though, that could do some damage to that. If it's gonna blow a bridge, surely it would blow that
Theros
staircase.
runs in like the Urukai in the Two Towers who destroys Helm's Deep Wall.
Bring him down! Bring him down!
Maybe that's how we play it. We blow this up, we throw the entangle. This is their bottleneck now, and we just rain hellfire on them from the hills until they all die.
There must be one of us in the wreckage, brother.
And we
It looks like we have a total of 1, 2, 10, 11 alchemist fire because Aiden has 2, Theros has 1, and then I think there's 10 in the haversack. So there's 13. What did I say? 13? Yeah.
If Theros suggests splitting up the camp, Aiden will support that idea and volunteer to remain on the west side on the edge of the trees. And he will watch
West Side
When-
Story.
when these guys switch who is on duty. And then you guys could camp on the southeast and we could reconvene in the morning. Assuming, Jace, that I can pretty much stay far enough away that I'm not in imminent danger of the camp. You know, I would just have to worry about patrols.
So you'd want to be close enough where you can see, but you don't want to be so close that you're immediately spotted.
Right. That I,
There'd be a stealth check involved, but
there would
modified by their distances, you might have a shot at it.
be on the edge of the forest. If I am spotted, that would be very bad, and I would have to leave right away. So he would request a smoke stick to cover his retreat.
Go for it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying that.
Yeah, I mean, you can. The haversack is free to all, so whatever is in there, you may.
Aiden, you look like
Choose.
you're eyeing that smoke stick. Would you prefer to take that with you?
I understand that I have grown reckless as well. But we have to be careful and we have to be smart and slow in our approach. There are too many of them to face all at once. But I, I will go and I will do my best to watch. And he nods.
At what point do we retreat? If things go poorly and the entire camp starts to come after us, do we stand here and fight until we die, or do we run away?
I will not ask any of you to die. I do not know what is right or what we should do. But we can't do nothing, I know that. They'll find the caves.
They know where we are. They've seen it. And those people can't defend themselves. I think Aiden is right. This is our stand.
I will be honest with you. I'm scared. But I can't do nothing again.